So lock it up for 1 minute. Give us a second.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they be a demon sometimes.
All right. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is former top 7 Elder Kazak Resurfaces. And pretty much I got a call from Elder Pastor about a good half hour, 45 minutes ago or so. And he told me you never guess who, he said Fopi had somebody on their show. I'm not sure if it was them that actually interviewed the Elder Kazak, formerly known as High Priest Kazak. I'm not sure if they were interviewed and then just playing back a video of it. Matter of fact, can you scroll a little bit on there to where you see the picture of the Elder Kazak? Scroll, yeah, keep on going, yeah, right there. All right, and I'm not sure if this was an actual video that they had of him with one of them interviewing him, or they were playing back, a video of this interview. Now, I've met, the Elder Kazak. His former name was High Priest Kazak. I'm not going to really say too much about him because I don't really know him that well. But I will say that he was a very humble brother. I will say that. But from what I understand, even when he was at One West, he would barely ever show up, to his either classes or. I'm not an expert at it, so I'm not going to speak on what I don't know. I just can tell you what I have heard, and that he would barely show up, to any of his classes or to the camp or whatever the case may be. I did read for him one time at the camp on 44th, in Broadway. So I did read for him one time. But they were going back and forth talking, to him and then stopping him and then saying whatever they had to say. He was speaking about Comfy, speaking about One West and the reason why they left and how the Rosicrucians came to the church to pay the church off to stop teaching the truth and to start teaching something else. And one of those individuals, I don't know if it was the Elder Quana, I believe his name is. I don't know if it was him. He said, I don't know why they would pay them off, to teach truth, what truth, or something along those lines. I'm merely trying to paraphrase what I remember. And pretty much my response to that was, first of all, they never try to approach you guys to teach something different, to give you a big suitcase full of money or give you a blank check to change what you've been teaching. Why is that? Because you're not teaching the truth. You got partial truths that you got from One West. Had it not been for One West, had it not been for Elder Abba Bibbins, had it not been for the top 7, had it not been for the former One West Israelites that are still out there teaching, you would have never known anything about Israel. You would have never known shit about it. Yeah. All right? So you don't know shit. You want to say something?
No, I was just agreeing. That's true.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. He started speaking about things that were being changed by, Comfy and them, about, certain doctrines that were coming into the school that were off, and that is true. This is after King Masha left, and the rest of us went with the king. There's certain ones of us that left with him. He was saying how he's going to come back now and he's going to set everything back in order and set it back, the way it's supposed to be. There's not going to be any hidden things or whatever the case may be. Talking about he's going to set everything in order. Well, what I have to say to that is he should have never left. And if he did leave for whatever reasons he left because he didn't feel like the truth, was being taught anymore or that they were teaching heresies, he was supposed to, correct them on it. And if they didn't hear him, go through the proper channels, as the scriptures say. And if that was the case and he went through all of that, he should have just left and went and taught and kept teaching. not, sit there and be dormant for more than 20 years, and then all of a sudden now resurface with all of these gripes that he had, and then now talking about he's going to set everything back in order how it's supposed to be. This is the same thing that the elder Lahab is saying and doing, and they fell out years ago. I will say that. So you should have kept on teaching. You should have never left anywhere. You should have just kept on teaching. If you did leave, you should have kept teaching the doctrine that you were taught from the beginning. He said when it came in 1979. So you were an expert in the knowledge of the truth by the time you left in the 90s. You should have just kept on teaching. All right? So I'm just going to get one precept, and then we're going to close it out, because this is just like an introduction to this whole thing. It came new to me. Like I said, the Elder Pastor called me and told me about it, and told me to do a video. So I want to do it like an introductory video to it. And I know he said when he gets home, he's going to do a video on it. And I know he's going to get all into the facts and all into, what really went on back then, because the Elder Pastor was there and he knows this man personally. A lot more closer than I do. Mm-hmm. All right? So let's go to the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 20. And we're going to leave it, we're just going to read this one precept and leave it there. And, I know that Elder Pastor is going to go into this and break it down. And really scrutinize what's being said. You can start at the 20th verse, Elder Tamashpat.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, and it's starting at verse 20. It says, For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
Right, because he escaped back in 1979. The truth was brought to him, the knowledge of the truth was brought to him, who the 12 tribes are, that we're the Israelites, so on and so forth, right? So he escaped the world and the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
It says, they are again entangled therein.
Right, they are again entangled therein, meaning into the world. Go ahead.
It says, and overcome.
And overcome, because he was overcome, because he didn't continue doing the work. Mm-hmm. This is the book of Luke, the 14th chapter. Then they began to mock him. He began to build and wasn't able to finish what he built. And that's, like I said, that would be the only thing that I would say about him. Like, I don't know him that well, but what I do know about him, he was a very humble brother, but he did not continue on in the faith. And the Lord said he's no respecter of person. He doesn't care what a person's rank was and what a person's accolades or whatever they did in the past was. It's what, is going on right now, what you're doing now. You're only as good as the last thing you did. And Elder Pastor Tahar, let the record reflect that Elder Apostle Tahar been saying for years about these individuals that fell out, that once we get closer to the end and the prophecy will start popping up and popping off like popcorn, these guys are going to go into their closets, pull out those garments and iron their garments and put them back on like as if they never left. Now all of a sudden the Elder Kazak order the way it's supposed to be because it's out of order. Well, you should have never left in the first place. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that, you should have kept teaching. So go ahead, Elder Damascus.
Yeah, because how you gonna put anything back in order and you wasn't in order? Mm-hmm. Because people can use that as an excuse and say, well, he took some time off. Well, what if I take time off?
Right.
And then they can get destroyed from that example.
That's it.
Because technically, if you do it and if you don't come out and say, you know what, hey, you know what, I was going off, I wasn't teaching. If you just come back and on some high horse shit, like you've been around the whole time, then everybody gonna wonder, well, where you been at?
Right. Yeah, brothers would have been in the desert. Mm-hmm. They would have been in the desert if they would have been waiting for the top 7 to continue on teaching, because the Elder Lahab, which is still teaching, he's teaching madness. He's teaching that all nations could be saved. That's one of the things the Elder Kazak mentioned. He said that they were teaching that now that the Gentiles can be saved, meaning comfy school. You know? But read on.
It says,
Yep, the latter end.
they are again entangled again and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning.
That's right. Scroll down. Go to 21.
It says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness.
Right. Which he knew the way of righteousness back in 1979. Go ahead.
Then after they had turned from the holy commandments delivered unto them.
And that's exactly what he did. He turned from the holy commandment that was delivered unto him. Because, okay, sometimes you're going to have gripes. Sometimes there's going to be differences. Sometimes there's going to be a contention, like with the Apostle Paul and Barnabas, you know? And sometimes, you know, if there's going to be contentions about the doctrine, all right? But what you should have done, Elder Kazak, High Priest Kazak from back then, you should have kept on teaching. You should have never left off teaching. You should have never put the plow down. And that's another thing Elder Pastor has been saying for years. Let the record reflect. Them guys are going to try to pick up that rusty ass plow and try to, get back to work. And it's too late.
Hey, I witnessed him saying it. I've heard him say it multiple times through the years. Multiple times. Man, he would name a list of men who fell off and say, and would say, hey, Yahweh Shemiel is going to get shot. Yahweh Shemiel Shai is going to get you, such and such. Yahweh Shemiel Shai is going to get you. Yahweh Shemiel Shai is going to get you.
Yep.
And watch, when these prophecies start popping off, you guys are going to go and dust those. You're going to go reach in the back of your closet and grab those garments and dust them off multiple times.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he ran into, because he's down in Atlanta now. I don't know if he's still in Atlanta. He ran into, I believe it was a Sakari. You know, and they asked him what he was doing. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me. He was out there in Atlanta, which he still is, I believe. And they were talking, discoursing, or whatever the case was. And I'm not sure if they asked him what he was doing now. He said he was just laying low. And the Elder Pastor would say, yeah, the Most High is going to lay you low. You have to remember, the Elder Pastor, this man knows these men personally. All of them, all 7. Beginning with King Marshall all the way to the last one. Kazak. He knows them personally. He knows how they interacted in the school. He knows what they did. You know, I'm going to go write a book, and take time off to write this book. And like Apostle Torah said, the book is already written. What other book you need to write? So read that last verse.
It says, but it has happened unto them.
Possible that offenses must come, but woe unto him by whom the offense cometh. Go ahead.
It says, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire.
And you see that. When you see a dog throwing up, they usually return back to that vomit and start licking up that vomit. You know, when you wash a sow, which is a female pig, they'll go jump right back in into that mud that they just came out of, that you just washed them from. And that's these individuals turning back from teaching back, backwards. Going back into what they went to back then. Like the Elder, he went back to what? He went back to Christianity with an Israelite twist to it, because now he's teaching that all nations can be saved. Now the Elder Kazak, from what I'm hearing so far, bring it back to the old ways, how it used to be, but it's too late now. Because the work is already done. Here it is. It's just like somebody, coming in, right? Somebody labored all day, and somebody coming in at the end of the day of the labor and talking about they want to get paid. And they ain't put a lick of work in, They left their post, they quit their job, they got paid for whatever they had to get paid. They want pay. They want equal pay with everybody else. It don't work like that.
No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
And it means just that. No man, read it again.
It says, and Yahweh said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
Read it again.
It says, and Yahweh said unto him, so like,
Sorry, brother. Take your time.
No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
3 is understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the scriptures say. You know? Now, can the Lord forgive him? That's between him and the Lord. But he did put the plow down. The plow is rusty. You know? You can't just pick up the plow and dust off the garment and iron the garment, throw it back on and act like you never left. You know? Because if not, all these brothers that are out here, none of this stuff would have been built up if they were waiting for you. If they were waiting for Elder Lahab.
And the thing is, we don't know you. Like, you know the man, but I don't know this man. You know, like he says he was one of the 7, and then our people are kings at scrutiny. Well, where the hell was you at?
Yep.
You like that makes it worse for you to say that, because you left us out here in battle.
You left the battlefield.
You know.
You left the battlefield, because you got.
No, it would be good. It would have been good to have a man that's been around that long around.
A veteran.
But he wasn't.
Yeah, a veteran.
But he wasn't around, man. Hey, you forsook us, man. Basically you forsook the flock, man.
Yep. Hey, that's what the hirelings do. That's what Yahweh Shai said.
And so after you done turned your back on us, now we supposed to say, you know what? Since you was one of the 7, forget everything we've been doing. We're gonna follow you. Like that's not wise, man.
Men follow examples, not talk. And that's the fact. This is why the Apostle Paul said, we making ourselves an example unto you, that you may for the last 20 plus years, you don't have any works to show any example that anyone should follow. And I'm just telling you that candidly from my heart. The truth, just to tell you the truthfully. You have anything else you want to say, Elder Dimashpa? Yeah, like I said, we're going to make this quick, not going to say too much. I know that Elder Pastor is going to go deeper into this. And, plus we a little worn out today, just been a crazy day. But the Apostle wanted me to do the lesson, and I was fired up to do it, when we got back. Okay. So I'm glad we were able to, bring it out. But remember, you heard it here first. We are witnesses. For years, the Elder Apostle have been saying that you're going to have these individuals that's going to come out of the woodworks, iron their garments, take their garments out of the closet, iron their garments, pull out that rusty plow, and try to act like they never left. You're going to set everything in order once everything is established. It doesn't work like that. So with that, Shalom.